Right, so today we're diving into something that might sound a little dry at first. Population trends, taxes, economies.
Yeah, not exactly the most thrilling combo, right?
Right, but trust me on this one. We're talking about how all of those things connect and what they really mean for, well, for us, for the world.
It's about looking at the bigger picture and asking those questions that make you think differently.
Exactly. And we've got two really interesting papers to help us do just that.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
First up, we've got Shumela Waka's and her work. It's called Dynamic Laffer Curves and Population Growth.
Laffer curves, huh? Okay, you're gonna have to refresh my memory on that one.
Yeah, so the Laffer curve, it's this economic theory about basically how much you can tax something before it backfires.
Backfires how?
So like imagine you tax something so much that people just stop buying it or doing it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Less activity means less revenue, even with higher taxes.
Exactly. And Wakas takes this idea and connects it to population growth, which I thought was super fascinating.
Interesting, because, like, intuitively you'd think more people, more taxpayers, more money for the government, right?
But she digs into how crazy fast population growth can actually put a strain on things and maybe even hurt the economy in the long run.
Wow. It's like too much of a good thing, maybe.
Yeah, kind of. And on the flip side, we've got Hugo Lindblom and his paper, The Consequences of Working Age Population Decline on Economic Growth.
So the opposite problem, shrinking workforce.
Exactly. And we've all heard the worries about, like, aging populations, fewer workers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Feels like everyone's talking about that these days.
But Lindblom's paper, it kind of flips the script on us. He asks, what if a smaller workforce could actually make us more innovative?
Hold on, really. Less is more. I gotta hear this.
Right. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but when you think about it,
Yeah, go on.
well, if businesses suddenly have a harder time finding workers, they've got to find other ways to get things done right.
Automation, technology, all that jazz.
Exactly. So maybe this shrinking workforce thing could actually be a catalyst for, like, a productivity explosion.
Okay, now my mind's going a mile a minute. So we've got these two big challenges, too much population growth, not enough workforce. But they're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
Totally. And that's what I love about this deep dive. We're looking at these big, complex issues, but we're also starting to see how they all fit together.
It's like those optical illusions, you know? You see one image and then you realize it's actually something else entirely.
All about perspective.
Love it. Okay, so let's unpack these ideas a bit more. First, back to this Laffer curve thing. How exactly does that work again?
Yeah, so imagine it like this. So we've got these two seemingly separate challenges.
Yeah.
Managing population growth and adapting to a shrinking workforce. But what blows my mind is how connected they are, like pieces of a puzzle we're just putting together.
Exactly. It's classic polymathic thinking. Instead of economics over here, demographics over there, we need to see the bigger picture. Solutions often live at the intersection of different fields.
Give me an example. How does this play out in the real world?
Take healthcare. You might think, what's healthcare got to do with taxes or a shrinking workforce? But what if I said investing in public health could be one of the most powerful economic decisions a country can make?
Okay, now you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Think about it. A healthier population means people work longer, stay productive, contribute more to the economy over their lifetimes. Suddenly, public health policies become economic tools. And not just that, a healthier population means lower healthcare costs long term, freeing up resources for education, infrastructure, even those tax cuts Waka's talked about.
A ripple effect. You invest in one area, it creates positive waves across the board.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Remember Lindblom's argument, a shrinking workforce driving innovation. What if we could use technology not just to offset a shrinking workforce, but also to improve healthcare and extend lifespans?
Now we're talking robots and AI. This is where it feels like a sci-fi movie.
Sounds futuristic, but it's closer than you think. Imagine AI diagnostic tools detecting diseases earlier and more accurately, or robotic surgery that's minimally invasive, faster recovery times. These advancements could improve individual lives, but also massively impact our economy and workforce.
So robots aren't just replacing workers, they're augmenting human capabilities, helping us work smarter, live longer, achieve things we never thought possible.
That's the potential. But with every leap, new questions. We talked about taxing robots to offset job displacement, but how do you even design a tax system when robots are part of the workforce?
That's a big one. Almost like we need new economic principles for the age of automation. And going full polymath here, maybe look to history. Weren't there similar anxieties during the Industrial Revolution? Machines replacing jobs?
Absolutely. We've navigated these shifts before, even if the scale and pace feel different now. Like the past, adapting requires innovation, social policy adjustments, and yeah, maybe rethinking our tax codes.
So instead of fearing change, we should embrace the opportunity to reshape our systems, create a future benefiting everyone. This is a lot to process. Societal shifts, sci-fi technology, a whole new way of thinking about economics. It's overwhelming.
It's a lot, but that's the beauty of this exploration. The goal isn't to be an expert in everything, but to cultivate curiosity, connect seemingly different ideas, and embrace the messiness of our interconnected world.
So it's not about having the answers, but asking the right questions.
Exactly. That's what makes this so exciting. Asking those what if questions, looking for patterns in unexpected places, you realize the possibilities are truly endless.
Wow, we've covered a lot today, from tax curves and robot taxes to AI, healthcare. It's like this web of challenges all connected. So where do we even begin?
It can feel like a tangled web, that's for sure. But maybe the first step is changing our perspective. We tend to think in silos, right? Economics separate from demographics, separate from technology, but it's all way more connected than that.
So we need to see the whole picture, not just the individual threads, see how a change in one area can affect everything else.
Exactly. And that's where polymathic thinking is so important. Not about being an expert in everything, but being curious, connecting ideas, being open to solutions coming from unexpected places.
It's funny. I'm starting to see how this isn't just some abstract idea. It has real implications for how we make decisions, both in like big policy stuff, but also just in our own lives.
Absolutely. If you only look at a problem from one angle, say just the economics of it, you might miss crucial insights from, oh, I don't know, sociology, psychology, history even.
It's like that saying, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Hmm.
We need more tools in our belt, a more open way of thinking about these big, messy problems.
Couldn't agree more. And the best part, this type of thinking, it's not just for academics or politicians. Every single person listening can cultivate this approach.
So how do we do that? How do we actually embrace this polymathic mindset? Where do we even start?
It starts with curiosity. Ask questions, even if they seem silly or outside your comfort zone. Read broadly, explore different fields, talk to people who are different from you, who have different experiences.
So actively look for those moments where you have to rethink what you thought you knew, those aha moments.
Precisely. And the more you do that, the more those connections will just appear naturally. You'll start seeing patterns in the most unexpected places, and that's where the magic happens.
It's like we're training our brains to become these pattern detectors, always looking for connections, hidden relationships. Who knows what we might discover?
That's the beauty of it. With a polymathic mindset, you're a student of everything. You never know where that next spark of inspiration will come from.
This has been an amazing journey, really. We've gone from complex economics to AI and the future of, well, everything. If there's one thing I want our listeners to take away from this, it's the power of that polymathic mindset.
I second that. In a world that feels so divided, so specialized, it's the polymaths, the connectors, the ones who can bridge those gaps, who are going to help us create a better future.
Beautifully said. And to everyone listening, stay curious, keep exploring, keep asking what if. This has been a deep dive. Until next time.